Alright, Kalshi traders predict how high XRP price would rise this month. So, the question here is, could a major betting platform predict XRP's next massive move? Right now, a very specific number is circulating in crypto circles, and it has some of the biggest whales in the space completely locked in. We aren't talking about a random guess on social media, and we aren't talking about a standard price chart. We are talking about real money bets being placed on Kalshi, one of the largest regulated prediction markets in the world. Now, according to a brand new update shared on X by top crypto analyst Steph Is Crypto right here, Kalshi traders are heavily backing XRP to breach $1.30 before the month of July ends. Think about the implications of that for a second. When people bet on prediction markets, they aren't just clicking a like button or posting hopium. They are risking cold, hard cash on a specific headline. So, as a market observer, my personal opinion on this is very clear. Prediction markets are often far more accurate than standard sentiment indicators. And the question is why? Because money talks. When you look at the sheer amount of capital moving into these specific July contracts, it tells you that the smart money is positioning for a volatile breakout. They aren't expecting a slow drift. They are expecting a sudden, aggressive move, and the data shows exactly why this timeline matches up perfectly with what is happening behind the scenes in Washington. So, our next question is, why did XRP form a massive concrete floor near the price of $1.03? To understand why $1.30 is the magic number for the rest of July, we have to look at what just happened in June. XRP actually started last month trading above $1.30, but it faced intense immediate selling pressure. The asset is lead hard alongside a broader crypto market downturn, eventually hitting a rock bottom near the $1.03. But instead of collapsing further, something incredible happened. XRP staged a ferocious, sharp bounce, skyrocketing 13% in a single day to reclaim $1.28. So here's my personal opinion on this June price action, that the 13% single day recovery was a massive institutional statement. It proved that buyers are aggressively defending the $1.03 to $1.10 zone like a steel wall. It shows that the liquidity is sitting right beneath the current price, waiting to absorb any sell orders. When you see a market absorb a massive downturn and snap back like an elastic band, it indicates that the asset is heavily oversold. The Kalshi forecast at $1.30 isn't just a random guess. It lines up perfectly with the structural overhead resistance that XRP needs to clear to trigger the next macro bull run. If the market reclaim and hold above $1.28 and $1.30, the bearish thesis for 2026 is completely dead. Now, will the July 13th Senate return launch the Clarity Act? Now let's talk about the real fuel behind this entire setup. That's the Clarity Act. The White House originally wanted this historic bill signed into law by July 4. But, as we know, the political gears grind slowly. The Senate left for its scheduled recess without taking a final vote, leaving the Clarity Act sitting directly on the Senate legislative calendar. The Senate officially returns on July 13. However, Senate Majority Leader John Thune right here, Jan Thun, has indicated that the very first week back will be heavily focused on a major defense bill. This means a full floor vote for the Clarity Act might be pushed to late July or even on the early August. Now here's my opinion. Missing the July 4 deadline is a temporary delay, absolutely not a defeat. The underlying fundamentals of this bill have not changed one single bit. The Clarity Act is designed to legally cement XRP's classification as a digital commodity under US law, entirely erasing all remaining forms of regulatory uncertainty. The fact that Senate returns on July 13 creates an incredibly tense countdown clock. The moment the defense bill is out of the way, the Clarity Act becomes a primary focus. Kalshi traders know this, and they are buying up July contracts while the general public is distracted by the delay. They are buying the rumor before the legislative fact. Now, are prediction markets more accurate than technical forecast? Naturally, not even everyone agrees with the $1.30 target. When Steph Is Crypto shared the Kalshi data on X, a community member immediately pushed back, arguing that prediction platforms often get things wrong when XRP's value hinges strictly on real regulatory progress rather than betting pool statistics. Now here's my personal opinion. This counter-argument actually strengthens the bullish case instead of weakening it. The skeptic is entirely right that regulatory clarity is the ultimate driver, but that is exactly what the Clarity Act delivers. The Kalshi traders aren't betting on a vacuum. They are actively betting on the outcome of the July 13 Senate return and the subsequent vote. Prediction markets acts as a supercomputer that aggregates real-world conviction and political insider knowledge. When thousands of traders risk capital on XRP, hitting $1.30 by the end of July, they are pricing in the probability of a sudden legislative breakthrough. It shows a collective belief that the political bottleneck is about to break wide open. And now, finally, here's our overall conclusion. When we piece the entire puzzle together, the outlook for XRP as we move deeper into July becomes incredibly distinct. We have a market that successfully tested and verified a solid floor at $1.03, followed by an immediate aggressive reclamation of the $1.28 level. We have a highly regulated prediction market putting real money behind a $1.30 target before August 1. And most importantly, we have a definitive timeline with the US Senate returning to Capitol Hill on July 13 to address the legislative calendar. So the conclusion is clear. The July 4 delay was nothing more than short-term noise that shook out the weak hands. The core narrative driving the XRP ecosystem this 2026 remains completely intact. The structural setup we are looking at right now is not simple retail speculation. It is a market that is actively preparing for structural legitimacy. So, as a market observer, I will be keeping my eyes locked on the news flow starting this July 13. If the Senate moves quickly and the Clarity Act secures its vote, the $1.30 target on Kalshi will likely look incredibly conservative. So we need to watch the levels, understand the political calendar, and pay attention to where the real money is moving. And this finally ends our video. Thank you very much for watching and see you on the next one, or you might just as well check this next recommended video right here.